If you're bullish on Sol and you want to leverage long, you can use a tool from Camino Finance. Let me show you how right now. So here we are at app.camino.finance. You can see that we can long and we can short. However, we're not going to worry about shorting. Not in this video. We're going to be worrying about longing, or rather we're going to cover longing. So we can go and long any of these tokens, but specifically I'm going to show you with Sol, and then you can extrapolate all that information and go and apply it to any of the other tokens. Now, one reason why you may use this over, say, something like Dupe Perps is because perhaps you don't need massive leverage. So as an example, in the video covering Jupiter Perps, basically you can see we can go all the way up to 100x leverage, which is crazy, completely crazy. And if you can do that, that's mega degen. Maybe it works out for you, maybe it doesn't. The thing is, when you go and leverage like this, you have a pretty decent borrow rate. And when you work out that borrow rate, that can be around 27% per year. And that's quite high. Also, the user interface, the UI here, it's not really for the trader. So it's easier to understand. Let me show you how it works. Here we can see the max leverage, 2.9x. The borrow rate, we're basically borrowing USDC in order to pump up our Sol position. How much liquidity is there? 10.5 million, I think we're fine. And we leverage using USDC. So if we click on deposit, I have one Sol available. This is a tutorial wallet. And of course, nothing in this video is financial advice and it never will be. If you're learning with these products, remember, it might be best if you start with a small amount of capital just to learn the ropes before you start to put more and more capital towards something. So I'm going to go and assign 0.5 Sol because I'm bullish on the price of Sol. Right now, the price of Sol is $170. The last time it was $170 or thereabouts, it was actually higher, was in May. And if we zoom right out, we know that October last year, it was $22. So if we think it's going to go up, maybe in the short term, medium term, or long term, this could be a tool that you want to use. So let's adjust the slider. If we go all the way up right to the top, we will have 2.82 leverage. If the price of Sol falls down to this liquidation price, $146.10, then we're going to lose either some of our Sol or all of our Sol. And then what we're putting in is just basically $85. It says over here $84.63, but our actual exposure is $238 and we're borrowing $153.79. So what we're basically doing is we're providing the Sol. Then with that, we're borrowing USDC. The USDC gets swapped to Sol. The Sol then gets deposited into the smart contract. It all happens in one transaction. And if the price of Sol goes up, then we can sell a portion of that Sol for USDC, repay the loan, including any interest, and then we keep the difference as profit. Of course, if the price goes down, then it won't be in profit and we'll lose money. Here we can see the borrow APY. It's currently 13.14%, so it's lower than Jupiter's Perps DEX. Now down the bottom here, we've got your simulated performance. So if the price of Sol goes from 170 to say $340, that's a double in the Sol price change. Our profit, because we've leveraged up, will be 282%. And all of a sudden, our $84.63 worth of Sol will be worth $322. Whereas if we just held the Sol by itself, of course, if it gains value by 100%, it's doubling in value. So we just take $84 and we times it by 2, and we've got $168. Now this leverage may be fine for some, but you may want to start with something a little bit lower. We've got 1.9x, maybe 2x. This is lower leverage, 2 to 2.5, but it may be within your safety realm. So first, the backend has to estimate the slippage, and then we can see all the details down here. Loan to value ratio, leverage is 2x, and then the net APY. So let's click set up account, read through this, confirm it all, and complete your deposit. Then we've got 2 transactions here. Let's go ahead and click I trust this transaction and approve, and we'll see if these transactions go through. Sometimes if you see that pop-up that says I have to trust this application, the actual transaction may not go through. And of course, only click that box and actually approve the transaction if you do trust the actual application. Now let's go ahead and open Sol long. That failed. Let's try again. Open Sol long. It's taking a little bit more Sol to open the actual account, and we'll approve, and the deposit has succeeded. Now we can see the liquidation price is $114. Now if you want to, you can set some alerts with a different application, and if it gets anywhere near 114, maybe 130 or something like that, then you know the price is going down and you may want to either remove the position at a loss or potentially add more collateral. To add more collateral, we can just come over here and we can type in how much we want, and that's going to drop down the leverage. If we had more Sol, we could add something like 1 or 2 Sol, and that's reducing the leverage even further. And as an example, if we put in 2 Sol, the new liquidation price would be $38. So this is what I mean. Camino's UI, it tells you all the information. It makes it really, really simple. Now, if the price does go up, and you want to cash out, or if it goes down and you want to close the position, then just come up here where it says manage leverage, click on deposit, and then you can either adjust, withdraw, or close position. We can close in SOL, or we can close to USDC, and then we just click close position, and then we'll go ahead and we'll approve the transaction here. You will notice that we're not getting the full amount of Solana back. Some of the Solana does get used in rent accounts and also transaction fees. For any more information on this, just click on info and risk. You've got some questions here, and for more specific questions, join Kamino's Discord and find all the answers there. That's all for this tutorial. Make sure you subscribe so you catch the future ones.